I guess opposed to opening the canned variety of chicken broth or stock, this is something you can do at home that's relatively simple.
Absolutely, Mike. I know a lot of people just go ahead and buy the can, but it really is better if you, and healthier if you can do it fresh in your house. And it's really not that scary. And I just wanted to show a few people that that want to do it at home, but just was never really too sure. It's very, very simple. I just bought a whole cut up, and they call it a cut up chicken, from the grocery store. I've rinsed this with cold water and adding it. Now, if you could use chicken bones, that's better. That's more like a stock. This is really a chicken broth because we've left all the meat on. Because, now if we were making a soup that required clarity, we'd want to use just bones. The meat adds protein and it gets a little bit cloudier, the stock cloudier. But because we are making a broth, we'll be able to use this in dressings and gravies, and it's not going to be that big a deal. If we want it clear, though, you have to use something else. So I've got about 4.5 pounds of chicken here with bones. I'm going to add 6 quarts of water, and we're going to put that on the stove. Okay, Mike, we're going to bring that to a boil. When that does boil, we're going to have to skim this a little bit. Just keep it fairly clean and remove some of the impurities out of the water so we get a nice pure tasting stock. About halfway through this cooking process, we'll use what we call a mirepoix. Those are the vegetables or the aromatics that you want to add to a stock. We don't want to make vegetable soup here, so there are proportions. I've got about 6 quarts of liquid here, so I'm going to use about a ½ pound of mirepoix. Mirepoix is 50% onion, 25% carrot, 25% celery. Okay? And that's going to go in halfway through the cooking process. Otherwise, all those vegetables would break down and we get too much vegetable flavor. We don't want a vegetable soup. We want an aromatic chicken stock. Okay, now you can see we've got our first boil here, Mike. And you see this stuff just rise to the top? You just want to let that gather together. I have a skimmer here. You could use a spoon. And then now that that's come to the boil, I'm going to turn that down. Just take this first skim off and turn that down. Mike, we're about halfway through the cooking process now. We're just simmering here. And I'm going to go ahead and add my mirepoix. Okay, and we're going to add our herbs. Bay leaf, parsley stems, and peppercorns. Okay, and we're going to let that sit for about another hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. All right, our chicken stock is cooked for about 3.5 hours. And you can see the vegetables are broken down, but they are not overcooked. Stock is fairly clear. It's a wonderful aroma coming off here. You can take this chicken out, let it cool, but you can make chicken salad with that. If you don't have one of these China caps, you can use just a colander, but I'm just going to strain that stock out right there. And that is ready to use. It's much better flavor. Now you notice I didn't put any salt and pepper. Save the seasoning for your item that you're using it in. If you just wanted a chicken broth, you could season it now. Okay. This also freezes very well. So we started with 6 quarts of liquid. We probably have 4 quarts left because some evaporated. And you can use 2 quarts and freeze 2 quarts. It freezes very well.
And of course, you can do it yourself. It's easy, and especially when you have the recipe to it. The chicken stock that you just saw us make here in Christopher's Kitchen is available on the website at kbtx.com. You can click onto the food page, and that's where you'll find all of the recipes that you're going to enjoy here at Christopher's. And so that's it for this edition of Christopher's Kitchen. For Christopher Lampo, I'm Mike Wright.